Live for 20 seconds already. I can get a light on in here. Hold on. Okay, now I'm seeing dots, seeing spots, because I looked at the light when I turned it on. Man! See what we got going here. Hey, Jay Vincent, how you doing? News Nebraska, Fort Worth. OCM? Where's News Now OCM? What is an OCM? That's no hurricane behind me? No. Don't you know I'm down here on the beach in Miami? Uh, just hanging. Okay, guys, I'm going to cover a few things. I promised y'all the other day that I would do a live stream tonight and get on here and just kind of chat with you and maybe give you some personal updates and whatnot, and that is what I'm doing. I always try to keep my promises. Hey, Dan, how you doing out there in PA? I've been watching your coverage of the unhappiness downtown there in PA. You're doing good work, brother. Doing good work. Hey, if y'all aren't subscribed over there to PA, get over there and have a look. Oakland County, Michigan. All right, I got you. Hope you're having a great day. I'm getting rained on. It is nothing but storming down here. Hold on, let me see what got messages coming in. Oh, hey, I'm getting messages right now from News Now Dallas. You guys, I know you guys love. He says, because I asked him how come he hasn't been on, and he says it's just been too busy and it's too hot. He says he's waiting on cooler weather. Learning to fly in a couple weeks, gonna have his pilot's license. Hey, cool. He brought a GoPro 8 with the media mod to use when he starts back up. And he sent me a picture of it. There's the picture. Let's see if you can see it. I'll have to check that out. I would be worried about battery life more than anything else, and that's what I'm telling him. Because when I get out, a lot of times I'm out for quite some time. Southeast Pennsylvania Community Watch. Hey guys, like I said, he's doing some good work over there. If you haven't seen it, jump in and be sure to like and subscribe. If you guys seen all that mess up in Portland, holy cow, they are going crazy up there. Hey WTT, how you doing? Time to stand. There's Lan Lee. News Now Dallas does good work. Absolutely. I've worked with him quite a few times. He is the consummate professional, even more so than myself. He's on par with Jeff Gray, Honor Your Oath in Florida. They are really top notch. I think I'm just one level below those two. I think the thank you, Bargain Dog. I think that News Now Dallas has one advantage over Jeff Gray, and that's his ability to edit videos. He uses Sony Vega, I believe it is, software for editing, and he can do some pretty funny stuff. If you recall correctly, he's the one that did the video that had me coming in by parachute in the background. And it was something that he edited in. I wasn't actually doing that, but it was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Luck Foyers, Ted Wheeler isn't okay. But yes, but News Now Dallas is really, he's a real good dude. I've met Jeff Gray, I've met News Now Dallas, and know them on a personal level, and they're both really good people. I mean, what you see in the videos is really just how they are, just really, really good people. And I was honored to work with Jeff out in Jacksonville, and had the opportunity. I was there on his birthday and had the opportunity to celebrate his birthday with he and his family, and really great people, really, really down to earth, freedom loving people. I just can't give enough positive accolades to Jeff and what he does out there, and News Now Dallas, same thing. really, really good guy. Let's see. He's the mayor of Portland. Oh, okay. All right. I see you, Luck Foyers. All right, so I'm going to cover just a couple of things. I've got to get this pulled up here real quick. See how I'm going to share this. I have to read it to you and just show it to you on my phone. Oh man. Okay, so there's in Fort Bend County, there was a constable, a precinct 3 constable that was shot accidentally by a Fort Bend County sheriff's deputy. You may remember that a few months ago. Well, that deputy, as it turned out, failed his field training and should have been terminated or relegated to the jail, someplace where he wasn't working patrol and didn't have a firearm. Instead, because they are short-handed out there, the sheriff put him on the road anyway. Sheriff Troy Nehls endangered the lives of citizens in Fort Bend County by putting a deputy who could not pass field training on the streets. Predictably, that deputy ended up killing another police officer. It was an accident waiting to happen, and unfortunately, this is happening not just in Fort Bend County. It's happening in a lot of places. Law enforcement is having trouble getting qualified people. So instead of working harder to get qualified people, they lower their standards and accept unqualified people. And then when those people can't pass their training or can't get through the psych evals, they look the other way, pass them anyway, and put them on the street. We are usually the ones who end up getting killed. In this instance, it turned out to be another police officer that got killed. Hold on. I'm going to show you. I'm telling News Now Dallas I'm live right now, and that all of you are saying hello. Come on, there it goes. Okay, here it is. All right, so here is. So, neither Troy Nehls, Sheriff Troy Nehls, nor Constable Trevor Nehls, they're twin brothers, has announced or commented on the indictment of the Fort Bend County Sheriff's deputy who killed a Fort Bend County Precinct 4 deputy constable. I said Precinct 3 is Precinct 4. People expected them to jointly announce the indictment, however, they did not. The deputy that was indicted is Chadwick Devin McRae on 7/20 of 2020 for felony criminal negligent homicide. And it resulted from a lack of training, improper applicant background investigation on the part of Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department. And then there's a photo of the deputy that is now indicted. And there's documents that were sent to me as well from their TCOL documents and training documents and whatnot that were ignored. They were totally ignored. And a police officer died because of it. Hi, Dax. You know, and this is part of what you're seeing today in law enforcement. The lack of qualified people and the fact that instead of continuing to search for qualified people, the police departments lower their standards and accept people who should not be doing what they do. We end up with the bullies, the people who are just egomaniacs. and then they become parts of the police unions, and then the unions protect them, so we can't get rid of them. And it has led us to where we are today, on the verge of having armed citizens go after law enforcement officers. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. When I was a teenager, I would never, ever have thought about arming myself to protect myself from the police. Never even occurred to me. Through my 20s, through my 30s, through most of my 40s. It wasn't until I hit my 50s, which is around 2010. Quit doing the math. Stop that. It wasn't until I hit my 50s that it really started to sink in, as I started seeing more and more videos, as more and more people were out with video cameras, and we were seeing what was happening with law enforcement. We were starting to see how it was, law enforcement as a whole was devolving into domestic terrorism. When police can target innocent citizens because they don't like them, or they don't like their politics, or for whatever reason other than the fact that they are committing crimes, when the police can target innocent citizens like that, we've gone someplace we should not be. Things have gone to a level they should never have been allowed to go to. And how do we stop it? At this point, I don't think we can. I honestly don't think we can. I think that things have reached the point that we're going to have to tear it down by force and rebuild. I really think that's where we're at. And it's unfortunate. I also had an email. I'm going to, real quick. I'm not prepared for this, but I got a quick video I'll show you. Somebody asked me about my favorite not needing a license firearm that I carry. Thank you, Bargain Dog, again. And I had started doing a video about some of the black powder guns I've got, and I just hadn't finished it. But I do have one that, see if I can get to it here. Let's see, I think it's this screen. There we go. That's not the screen I needed. Hold on. There we go. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah, here we go. I've gotten a lot of questions about what I was... Oops.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
Nope.
There are so many lies that Earl David Ward.
So many lies. Yeah. Talking about me. Let me get this over here. There. Now I can make it play. All right. Hold on. Nope, that's not the video. Dadgummit. Oh, here it is. There we go. All right. I've gotten a lot of questions about what I was carrying when the HISD police took me into custody. And so I'm going to give you guys a quick overview, and I'll mix this in with the video about some of the other things that I own. This is a pistol based on the 1860 Army, which the 1860 would have had a regular grip frame and a much longer barrel. The barrel was like almost 8 inches long, which was pretty much standard for the time. This is a custom-made holster, Kydex, that I had made for it locally. And that is what I usually use to carry this. I also have a leather holster that, when I open carry this, that is more in the cowboy genre. But looking at this, okay, so this, obviously the barrel's been shortened to 3 inches. It has this bird's head grip. This is what's commonly referred to as an open top Colt. There is no strap between these right here. The frame is joined right here and with a shaft right here, and this little wedge thing is what holds it together. They were very, very popular in the mid-1800s through the 1900s, and they did cartridge conversions on them. This one is black powder. You can see the nipples right here, or cones, depending upon how you want to, whatever you want to call them. That's how you spot a black powder handgun. It'll have nipples. These are the caps, the percussion caps go on here, and that's what provides your ignition for the compressed gunpowder and bullet that's over here in the cylinder. All right. It has the action has been cleaned up and works very well, very smooth. You can see the little nipples in there. These are called cones or nipples. The original, back in the day, would have been, the appropriate terminology would have been cones, but in this day and age, we call them nipples. These are made by a company called Slick Shot, and if you see, they have that little hole in the side of them. The open top Colts, which are what this is, see, there's no strap across the top. It's called an open top Colt. They have an issue sometimes when you fire them. Pressure comes back through this nipple and will push the cap up between these two little grooves here, which will pull the cap back through this hole and drop it down in that section, so when you drop the hammer again for the next shot, it won't fire. These Slick Shot nipples, what they do is basically blast the cap open so that it doesn't go back through that hole. And then as you cock the hammer, okay, it falls around here and gravity takes over and the old cap falls out here. There's actually a little channel for it, though you can't really see it. This particular version, they call these the Avenging Angels. This particular version is made by Pietta. It's large, okay, you can see. I can cover it with my hand. It'll fit in the palm of my hand, but this thing is not light by any stretch of the imagination. And it's in .44 caliber. Now, .44 black powder as a caliber is actually .45 caliber. But they call them .44 to prevent there being any confusion with more modern firearms. You can see here it has a case-hardened frame. The hammer is also case-hardened. It's a nice looking little pistol. It's a good handling pistol. I'm very happy with this pistol, and in the summer months I kind of favor it, even though it's blued steel, and you have to stay on it to prevent rust. I like it because it conceals pretty well. In the winter months, I have another one that I tend to prefer. It's based off the Remington. Now, in the near future, this is fixing to get ivory grips, and this back strap. I'm going to have this back strap engraved with my name. Unfortunately, I would like to do some more engraving on this gun, but there's really not any place. See Pietta, and then over here, black powder only. There's really not any good places to engrave it anywhere else, maybe across the top of the barrel, but I don't know. Engraving is expensive, and I think I'm going to do some more engraving on one of my stainless steel 1858s. Look at that, I cut my finger. Dang it. But I was going to engrave, I think, my name across the back strap there. So, there you have it. And Kydex holsters, I'm not a big fan of Kydex holsters, but this one has been pretty good. I'm happy with it. Works okay. I'm not real happy with this mechanism here. Most of my other Kydex holsters have a much smaller blade, and I am partial myself to paddle holsters. You don't have to like that. You don't have to like them. It's what I like. What else? What else? What else? Oh, how do you safely carry one of these with 6 rounds, fully loaded? Because you can't put the hammer down on a nipple, because if somebody bangs that hammer somehow, it could discharge the firearm. Well, see if I can get it to focus in here. See the little pins coming up there? I'll pull one up this way. Hard to see, but between each cap, there's a pin. And remember that groove in the hammer I showed you right there? Well, that groove engages that so that the cylinder cannot turn. And this is not laying on a hot cap, so it can't discharge. So it's safe to carry 6 rounds that way. These things, you don't reload these things. You know, if you're in a firefight, you get your 6 rounds off, and then you either turn this into a club to beat somebody with, or you run. This is not something that you would want to reload. At some point, I'll do a shooting video for you guys and show you how slow it is to reload one of these things. Basically, you disassemble the gun to reload it. It is not quick at all. Now, the Remingtons, you can change cylinders, and that's a fairly quick proposition compared to the open top Colts. There it is. Like I said, it'll look a lot better once it gets the ivory grips on it. I've had this thing probably, I don't know, a year and a half. I've shot and carried it for about a year and a half. It's been very reliable. Other than we call it cap sucking, when the caps get stuck on this and get pulled back in here, we call that cap sucking. Other than a very minor issue with that, it didn't do it all the time, but it would do it if I really loaded it hot. So that's why I went with the slick shot nipples, and that seems to have resolved the problem. There are also other things you can do. This is going to go to a gunsmith here pretty quickly. I'm going to put a post in here and tune the action a little bit more. Is it my favorite? It is my second favorite. And I'll do a video to show you guys my favorite in the very near future, or I'll mix it in with this video. That's it, guys. Thanks, and y'all be safe. And there's some still shots of after it got the ivory grips on it. They weren't able to do the engraving. They do it a laser engraving, and because of the curvature of the rear backstrap, they weren't able to do the engraving on it, so it did not get engraved. Let me let that play. You get a couple looks at the ivory grips that are on there. Thank you, Fort Worth. I saw you did donate. Sorry. This is a really well balanced pistol, revolver, whatever you want to call it. It works very well. It's very functional as well. And if you don't want to get licensed, all right, stop the sharing there. All right, you don't want to get a license to carry in Texas. You don't need a license to carry these. Some other states, you don't need a license to carry these as well. Florida, you'll have to research your state. I don't know every single state. I keep track of where I can carry them, simply because I don't want to get myself into trouble with them. There are some states where those are considered firearms. New York, California are two that come to mind. Let's see. So, going back to other subjects, they have arrested and charged some more narcotics officers. And then here, just a couple of days ago on the 24th, they relieved yet another HPD officer in relation to the investigations that they've been running in the narcotics division. So Officer Juan Martinez was relieved of duty. He's been a Houston police officer since 2005. The department is refusing to elaborate on that, But that's nothing new. They keep talking about, and this is all just lip service. All right, Art Acevedo keeps talking about the narcotics unit that Goins and Bryant came out of, but people on the inside are telling us it wasn't just that unit that was bad. Everything they were doing in that unit, they're doing it in all the narcotics units. Now, they are laying low with that type of behavior, but what about the thousands of people that they have framed and arrested while this has been going on? We know it's been going on at least since 2008. It's going further than that. I know it's been going on since around 2000, but they acknowledge that it's been going on since 2008. That's 12 years this has been going. And the Harris County District Attorney is patting herself on the back and jumping up and down saying, give me money for re-election because I got these cases all overturned. I've turned these people loose. What she's not telling you is she put a bunch of them in jail. They have known Goins was dirty since at least 2008 and have continued to take criminal charges from him, cases from him, arrest and prosecute people. Kim Ogg has to go. And yes, I supported Kim Ogg to get her into office. I had high hopes for her. The only good thing that I can say about Kim Ogg is, she has been successful with what we call bail reform. A lot of people aren't sitting in jail because of her bail reform. Now, that's a double-edged sword. There are some people that have gotten out and are on the streets because of her bail reform that shouldn't be. And that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. You can't, there's just no good way of predicting who's going to do the right thing and who isn't. Okay? I would say if you arrest somebody and they haven't been in trouble in the last 5 years, they're a good prospect for the bail reform program. If they've been in a lot of trouble in the last 5 years, well then no, we will hold on to them for a little while. I do not support putting people on the street that are going to commit crimes, that we know are going to commit crimes. I do not support that because people get hurt as a result. And I hate that we are holding people in jail who aren't going to go out and commit other crimes. People that are arrested for doing something, heat of the moment or whatever, or have been arrested for a crime they committed 25 years ago, and in the meantime, they're not doing nothing wrong. Those people should be on the street. If you haven't committed a crime in 25 years, you're a good prospect for not committing future crimes. This whole thing that you get from the police unions, and the system in general of once a criminal, always a criminal, is bullshit. Okay? You hear it from the cops all the time. Oh, that officer, he just beat that guy that one time. It was just a one-time thing that he beat that guy half to death. It won't happen again. Well, so maybe it was a one-time thing that somebody committed a crime. And maybe that won't happen again. People should get the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion. Now, we're not talking about people who commit crime after crime after crime after crime and never learn. We're talking about people who do something stupid and, in the interim, they've served their sentence, they've done what they were supposed to do, they paid their debt to society, and now here we are 20 years later or 15 years later, and they have been good citizens. They've been taking care of business, taking care of their kids, working, doing what they're supposed to do. And now they get caught up in something else. And usually it's something stupid. They get in a fight somewhere. I mean, come on. Those people don't belong in jail. The guys that are carjacking, make bond, get out and go carjack somebody else, those guys need to be locked up. let's see. I'm going to go over here. All right. Enough of me. I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry. Let me go over here and look at the comments, and I'll start answering some questions. You guys want to ask me some questions? I'll try and get them. Understand that I already know what's going to happen. There's going to be a ton of questions, and I'm not going to get every one. I'm probably just going to nitpick, but I'll try and answer questions where I can. Constitutional Protection Force. I have to look that up. Okay, I'm looking here. No criminal record kept after debt paid to society. You know, I buy into that. I buy into that. After a certain amount of time, your record should be cleared. You should have the same opportunities in life that everybody else does. That's what America is built on. And it's supposed to be that once you paid your debt to society, that you're done. Thank you, JP Tags. We need to learn what a U.S. I already know about this whole corporation and all that. Okay, I use the term loosely. Okay, but yeah, once your debt to society is paid, you should be free and clear. You've done what society says you need to do to pay your debt for your crime. Why does it continue to be held against you forever and ever? It's not right. It's not right. Am I surviving the hurricane? It's not a hurricane. We have a tropical storm down here. It's just getting a lot of rain is all it is. So far, we've been okay. Grace, that if you can't defend, you don't need it. It's the bad guy that took it. You know what? I personally, if somebody tries to carjack you and you defend yourself and your property, I have no issue with that. I have absolutely no issue with that. I was carjacked once at gunpoint back in 2006 or 7. It happened in Seabrook, and I had a gun. I was armed. And it was a 16-year-old kid that was carjacking me. And I elected to let him take the car. I just didn't want to. He was scared and he was pointing the gun at me, but he didn't have his finger on the trigger. And so I determined that until he put his finger on the trigger, I wasn't going to take any action. I let him take it. Insurance took care of it. I just didn't want to kill, a kid. Now, if he had actively been trying to hurt me, absolutely 100% I would have defended myself. But it wasn't worth taking his life over that little Ford Ranger. I just didn't see it. So that's a decision you have to make for yourself. Had he been an adult, I might have taken a different course, but I was not going to kill a kid if I could avoid it. That's just me. You don't have to be the same person you were this morning. All Christians should believe in the value of that. I agree. We all get up on the wrong side of bed. We all say things we don't mean. We all do things we don't mean. Sometimes you do things that in the moment seem like the right thing to do, or you don't think about it. And, in the course of time, you come to realize that you were wrong. I know you guys may find this hard to believe, but I'm not perfect. I know. It's hard to believe. I made a mistake before. It's back, I think about 1992 or 93. I made a mistake. I remember it. No, I make mistakes all the time. And it's part of being human. We all do. So we should learn to live with that and accept that of others and move on. I don't judge people by what they did 10 years ago. Thank you, Riverside, Sergeant Rock. I don't judge people on, what they've done. I judge people on what they're doing. I judge people on who they are today, not who you were 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 30 years ago. because I don't think you're the same person today that you were then. I hope you're not the same person today that you were then. And I think the world would be a better place and society would be better as a whole if we could all learn to do that. Wherever you go, there you are. I always say that. Yeah, wherever I go, there I am. You can run, but you can't hide from yourself. Trusted flagger. It wasn't 1992. It was 1985. You are correct. I'll go along with that. Can I get Justin to accept your donations? I'll ask him about it. I will make a point of asking him about it. I don't know why he wouldn't. Hold on. Look at all the things that King David did, and God still called him his friend. Look at all the things that this David has done, and God still calls me his friend. Let's see what we got here. I made a mistake when I was thinking I was wrong. Yeah. Straight to Dale, how to get notifications. When it comes to YouTube to get notifications, it's really simple. Click subscribe, and to the right of the word subscribe, there's a little bell. Click the bell, and then you'll, like, if somebody goes live or posts a new video, you'll get notifications for it instantly. Was I bucket Phil judged by how much shit you gave out or how much shit you were given? I don't know. I don't understand that, but okay. Oh, Luck Foyard says he's judging Patrick on something that he did 20 years ago. He was born. Hey, did y'all see the video where Patrick helped to get the guy out of the wrecked truck? You know, that was a good thing. It's a busy freeway where they were at, and it was actually pretty dangerous for those people that stopped to help that guy. I talked to him since then, and I told him, I said, it's never a good idea to move somebody that's in an accident like that. But they were concerned that another vehicle might come along and strike that vehicle, and so they were debating on whether to actually remove the guy from the vehicle or not. They got him halfway out, and then they could hear the sirens, so they elected to let it be at that point. So, you know, he made an effort. He made an effort. And then before it even starts, there are going to be some trolls in here in just a second saying, oh, David stood by while somebody drowned and videotaped it. They've never seen the video. They just hear what people say. They just hear the gossip about it. Well, let me tell you what happened. I'm standing on a bridge. The guy jumped off the bridge. We didn't know he was committing suicide. We thought initially he had fallen off the bridge. So yes, I was standing there taking video. And the police show up, and then we realize, hey, this guy's, he's trying to kill himself. Now, you cannot jump off the bridge into the water. It's in February. The water temperature is very low. The air temperature was like 32 degrees. I don't even know what the water temperature was, but probably 35, 36. Don't know the depth of the water. Don't know if there's debris in the water. See, anybody that jumps off that bridge is probably going to get hurt. The police are there. Sheriffs are there. They tell us, stay put. They run around to the bank, which you had to go around quite a distance to get to the bank. We all assume they're going to go in and get him or whatever. And in retrospect, anybody that has any water rescue training, hold on, will tell you that you do not go in the water after somebody that's trying to kill themselves. They will go to the bottom and take you with them. But the trolls like to accuse me of failing to rescue this guy, even though the police are there telling us to stay where we are because we're witnesses, even though the police aren't doing anything. And in truth, if I could have done something, if I could have gotten to the shore before he went under, I might have considered going in, but that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. So yes, I got video. I did what everybody should do. I was the best witness I could be, and being the best witness you can be means if you've got a camera, film it. That's what you do. Zoom with Smokey Bear. If everybody forgave themselves of every wrongdoing that they've done in their lives and forgave everybody else that has wronged them and love everybody in the world, what would it be like? Yeah, he knew Dave did it. He had tape of it. Yep. You know, a lot of people carry around. I have a nephew, and he may be watching this. I'm not going to say any names, but he carries a lot of guilt over his father passing. Even though there was nothing he could do about it. Thank you, Dale. There was nothing he could do about it. I mean, I don't understand. It's not his fault, but he carries a lot of guilt. And there are a lot of things that you do in life that go sideways. You have a bad marriage. You maybe you have a kid that gets in trouble and you blame yourself. You've got to learn to forgive yourself. If it is your fault, forgive yourself, learn from the mistakes, and move on. Beating yourself up over it just ruins today. You can't change yesterday, but you can change tomorrow. And you can start changing tomorrow by fixing and forgiving today. Dale, I don't know what you're going to learn from me, but I'll try and teach something here. All I'm doing so far is preaching. All right. Carol Franklin, I like listening and I don't comment much. Well, comment more. Comment more. You know, you guys, I do see your comments in the video on the comment section of the videos and stuff. I may not answer you, okay, because I get so many comments in the course of a day. I can't answer every one of them. But I do scan through them and look for them, and when I can, I try to respond. And you know, sometimes people criticize me and what I've done or how I do something or whatever, and I take that to heart. I do read that. And if it's something that I look at and I say, you know, they're right, I try to change it. So, you know, if you're criticizing me, feel free. Now, it's not to say that don't comment and say you're a dumb blah, 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 okay? Because I'll just delete that comment. I don't want to hear it. You know, but to tell me, oh, you did this wrong or you misread the law or whatever, you know, I do look at that. And I do try to get it right. And I don't always get it right, but I do make an effort. Political Trance Tribune, hey, how you doing? Call me later, please. Okay, I've got your number. I'll give you a holler. Give me about an hour. I'll give you a holler. See what else we got. You like my videos, but you have other things to do. Okay. Did Carol Baskins kill her husband? I actually watched that series about the Tiger King, Lion King, whatever you call him, and Carol Baskins. Man, I tell you what. This is an opinion. This is not a fact. This is my personal opinion because I started looking at it based on the information that's available to me. My belief is Carol Baskin did it. That's my belief. Because if her husband had gone to South America to live, and, you know, as they say, you know, there's going to be a trail. There's going to be a trail, and there is no trail. This guy just vanished in the middle of the night. And I'm thinking some kitty cat got a nice big steak. That's what I'm thinking, but, you know. Let's see. I may be removing Second Amendment for violent crime conviction, but where would you draw the line? I'm not sure, Jason. You'll have to... I need more details than that. You got a heart from me. Heidi got a heart from me, and it felt good. Well, I'm glad. I try to give people hearts where I can. Oh, Ray, No, don't mention Chick-fil-A. Oh, man. Now you got me fiending for a peach milkshake, and it's Sunday. Chick-fil-A's not open. Urgh. Chick-fil-A has got these peach milkshakes right now that are to die for. I have put on probably 10 pounds in the last month because I get one of them every single day. And it is killing me. But they are so good. Ugh. Ugh. Would you ID during a ride spot check looking for drivers under the influence? I don't drink, and we don't have those things here in Texas, so I don't know. You know, state laws vary. You're asking me to comment on something that may be happening in New Jersey where you have to ID. I don't know. You need to read your state laws and understand your state statutes. Okay? But I will tell you, here in Texas, it's unlikely that I would ID if I were a passenger in a vehicle for any reason. Too long and just not the place to discuss it. Okay, James Rios, just at James Davis. Yeah, send me an email. That's all you got to do. Okay. I don't know that Epstein is dead. Oh man, here we go with the Epstein stuff. All right. Epstein, I have no doubt that Epstein is dead, and let me tell you why. He knows too much about powerful people. The Clintons, Trump, I mean, the list is endless. It is too dangerous to have him alive anywhere. They can't just take him and hide him somewhere because somebody's going to find him. So there really wasn't a lot of choices. And I've been saying, I said that from the very beginning. That dude's dead. He's a walking dead man. And sure enough, how do you kill somebody in prison? Think about that. Somebody that is in protective custody in prison. The only people that can get to him are the guards. And they still got to him. Think about that. You want to know who did it? Go look at the bank accounts of all the guards. That's how you tell. See what else we got here. Armed to the teeth, especially crazy people. You know, if you armed crazy people, the what do they call it? The process of elimination would take care of it. I think. Common sense approach, 100% perfect human, and nobody is. Yeah, I try to. And I get this whole thing of, oh, you should have told him to F off, and you should have told him to drop dead. You know what? Kill him with kindness. Kill him with kindness. The way that you see me interact with people is how I normally interact with people. It's the way I am. I don't go around cussing and screaming and jumping up and down at people. I just don't do that. Short of them putting hands on me, at that point things change. But just because they talk stupid doesn't mean I have to. Be the adult, rise above, and the world will be a better place. Additionally, I get this, oh, you make people look stupid. No, I don't. They make themselves look stupid. I'm just the guy that puts it on YouTube. I'm just the guy with the camera. How you look when you interact with me is up to you. You want to look like a fool? Behave like a fool. I'll put it on the internet. It's that simple. Behave like a professional. Even if you don't like what I do, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like my politics. All you got to like about me is my rights. Respect my rights. Follow the law. Get on down the road. Take your ego out of the equation. You'll be fine. I'm not going to talk bad about you. I say, hey, look, he did the right thing. Let's see. George, everything's going good. Other than a lot of rain. Yes, I'm talking about Darwinism. Yes, the process of elimination. Get you into Chick-fil-A. Yeah, those peach milkshakes, Smoky, those peach milkshakes are awesome. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Survival of the fittest. That's exactly what it is. Clinton, Soros, hit squad, dead Epstein. that's I don't know about the Clintons and Soros and all that. I'm not going to say that. I just will leave it at powerful people. And rich people and powerful people are all interconnected. Okay? So you can't get one of them upset with you, because he will network with the others to ruin your life. And they're not going to do anything themselves. These people are rich. They have tons of money. They don't have to lift a finger to mess with you. They'll use mercenary cops. They'll hire biker gangs. You know, they don't have to do a thing. They just send some money to somebody and it's taken care of. And that's part of the problem in this country right now, is that when this is happening and it gets exposed, we do nothing about it. You know, a perfect example, and not to beat a dead horse, but a perfect example of this is what is happening to me right now with Shell in Deer Park. Shell, multinational company with billions and billions of dollars. And I pissed them off. So they send mercenary Deer Park police officers after me. And here we are. Now, the good news is, you know, there's an old adage, you know, when life hands you a lemon, make a lemonade, and that's exactly what I've done. When this started and everybody was saying, "Oh, you're in trouble, you're in trouble," all I could think about was, there's a door open here. There's a door open here. I now have the ability to go after documents that I can get no other way. And so the longer this is dragged out, the more we are getting. You know, I have a list from the government, from the FBI, of confidential informants that are working within the movement. I was able to get that thanks to Discovery. We've found this secret chat room, and we've actually found more than one. Secret chat rooms that police are using to have off-the-record discussions about cases and how to set people up. We've found other things too that I'm not going to cover just yet, because I want to get the documents first, and if I start talking about them, it could become unavailable. Police conducting business in secret chat rooms is done to hide from defense teams and stuff like that evidence of what the police are doing. They don't want they have these secret chat rooms, and for those of you that don't know, there is what they call a justice network, and it's all over the United States. We have it here in Texas. So if you have details about somebody or about a case, you put that on there. And then if somebody has something, they can do a search for, let's say, First Amendment auditors. They can do a search on that network, and it'll come up with all these people, including photographs and whatnot. I'm on there. That's what it's for. And so if you get charged with something, your attorney can subpoena that. All right? And if you want to know what's on there about you, you can do a public records request and get that information. And the district attorney has access to it so that they can gather information. But if you wanted to talk about how to set somebody up for a crime they didn't commit, you can't do it there because everybody will see it and have access to it. So the police have begun to create secret Facebook groups. Yeah, we know about the Facebook groups. Secret chat groups where they can have these conversations and they not be revealed. Well, it's not working out the way they thought it would. You know, it's been going on for a while, but now that we're into it, and we have notified other attorneys and are continuing to notify other attorneys in the area about it, that whole program, which by the way is illegal, okay, it is illegal. It violates a number of Texas state laws. All the evidence that is concealed there I'm wondering how many people have these guys put in prison by setting them up and talking about how to set them up in these chat groups. There's going to be, I'm going to predict that there will end up being investigations by agencies into these chat rooms, and possibly even a criminal investigation into the participants in these chat rooms. Based on what I've seen already, it could happen. And those documents are coming. I'm going to produce everything, including the list of informants, because I didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. Let me go back over the questions. Yes, okay, so we're talking about being civil. Yes, EJ, union members have these Facebook pages where they go in and discuss about how to get people. And at least 2 years ago, I knew about some of these Facebook groups. I was getting screenshots from cops about how they were talking in these Facebook groups about how to go after auditors. Basically, the conversations that I've seen revolved around arrest them for anything, jaywalking, whatever. Arrest them for anything, cost them money. And that's what the police are were going to attempt to do, and they've done it. You saw it up in Chicago, which is where those conversations were occurring. We're up in the Northeast in the Chicago area, and they started going after 2 auditors in the Chicago area, 2 lady auditors up there, and it ended up one of those lady auditors became a confidential informant. Next time I travel through Baton Rouge, stop in and you'll make me some Cajun cooking. Okay. I'll try and remember that, Teddy. Carol Franklin, can't wait for the documents. You know what? I will love to give you guys the documents. This is going to be epic because it shows how the police have conflict of interest relationships with private corporations, and then will target individuals. Now, this has been going on. We know about Karen Silkwood. We know about others. Okay, Karen Silkwood just comes to my mind for some reason, but where corporations have had police go after people, have had police kill people for them. Look at Shark. Are any of you guys subscribed to Shark? They're a animal rights protection group, and they go out and do like where people are having pigeon shoots. They'll go out and film and stuff, and the police are always in the pockets, and the police will arrest them and do all kinds of crazy things. Well, Steve Hindy is a lawyer, and so they have a lot of knowledge of the law. They know how to set the situations up so that it doesn't work out well for the police. But check out Shark. This is a perfect example of how the police are in the pockets of big corporations and big companies and whatnot. Police are protecting their wallets because they get big money from these people. They're not protecting your rights. Absolutely not. And that's got to stop. That's got to stop. When you have a situation like that, the police officer should be criminally charged. Period. End of story. It is public corruption. Am I about to be killed? Because I know too much. At this point, if something happens to me, you can believe I was murdered by the police. It's that simple. And it'll probably be, I'm going to get on a cop watch out in Deer Park or something, and a Deer Park cop will murder me. I have no doubt that it's coming. But I'm not going to run from it. And it won't stop the documents from getting published. So, they're going to do what they're going to do. I don't live my life in fear. But if anybody thinks I'm going to stand around and be murdered and not fight back, you're mistaken as well. Let's see what we got over here. Nothing wrong with shooting pigeons. Yeah, and it's not about the about shooting pigeons, it's how they're conducting it. You have to go over there and look. It's shark, like a shark. Go over there and look, and you'll understand why they're upset about these pigeon shoots. This isn't hunting. This is, I mean, they take wounded pigeons that weren't killed, when they were shot, and they do horrible things. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not a hunter. If you hunt for food, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But hunting for sport and killing for sport does not set well with me. It's just me. Snake, yeah, maybe. That may be the case, but they may investigate themselves and find they do no wrong, but it's all going to be public. It's all going to be public. I've got local news stations here that I've worked with in the past and helped in the past that are helping me now. And at least one newspaper as well, not a newspaper anymore, they're an online news service, but that are going to blow this story up. Okay? So at this point, everybody's like, well, why hasn't your case gotten dismissed? I don't want my case dismissed. I want to go to trial. I want a jury to hear it. And in the meantime, I want documents. We are going to continue to pull and subpoena documents after documents after documents and emails, and it's all for the sole purpose of, once this is all over with, if not sooner, I'm going to actually start publishing some of this stuff in about a week, but it's all to expose exactly how we came to be where we are, how I came to be where I am. And once you see that, it's going to piss you off. And we have people that are going to run for political positions in Deer Park, people that live in Deer Park that I'm in touch with, that we're going to place them in political positions, and we're going to clean up that department. We're going to get rid of the chief, the assistant chief, the basically anybody from patrol up is going to be gotten rid of. It's coming because they're crooked, and there will not be any more Deer Park police officers permitted to work at Shell. We're going to end that because of the conflict of interest. We need to end it for all police officers because of the abuses. I don't care about cops working extra jobs to make money, and I wouldn't care if they work, at the refineries to make money. But if you're taking that, if that refinery is misusing you to do dirty deeds for them, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And the reason these refineries are using these off-duty police officers is Homeland Security. Homeland Security dictates that they hire a certain number of off-duty police officers. And they pay these guys like $125 an hour. It's crazy. Yep, Sheila, keep those cameras running. I've seen your emails. Keep your cameras running. Clay pigeons. I shoot clay pigeons. I actually use them for target practice. It's really cool when they pop, break when you hit them. My thoughts on qualified immunity and police unions. Qualified immunity, got to go. If a police officer does wrong, he should be responsible for what he does. And taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for it. Police unions have got to go. I'm not anti-union. Unions came about so that they could protect workers from, low pay and dangerous working conditions and things like that. I have no issue with unions. Okay? I have an issue with police unions because police unions are little more than organized crime. They protect officers that do wrong. They go to the legislature and get laws passed to protect them. Do you know how the Houston Police Union came about? And this is on their webpage. You can go over and look at this and see it for yourself. The Houston Police Officers Association. That's their union. That's where old Pee Wee Herman, Joe Gamaldi, is. They had a police officer that had put money into a retirement fund. And he used to pick up prostitutes while he was on duty and make them perform for him in exchange for him not taking them to jail for whatever offense they had committed. He got caught and he got fired. And so a group of guys didn't like that. They didn't think that was right. So they formed the Houston Police Officer Association. And then, used to be back then, if you got fired, the money you had put into the retirement fund, you forfeited. And I don't think that's right, but they got that law changed, and that's not the law anymore. But that's what they do. Old Pee Wee Herman spends a lot of time up in Austin trying to get laws fixed for them, not for you and me. This is why we have the Police Officers' Bill of Rights. Why do cops need a Bill of Rights? They already have one. They already have one, the same one you and I have. Why are we extending extra protections to them? We shouldn't be. We should not be. Let's see what we got here. The Shell Police is a major conflict of interest, yeah. The police unions are in the pockets of politicians. No. Politicians are in the pockets of the police unions because the police unions have amassed massive amounts of money, and they use that money to buy politicians. Say no to pedos. Knight's Jump, I asked a legitimate question. I didn't see your question. Say no. So I'll scroll back here and see if I see it. Oh, how did they get your daughters to make an accusation? Okay. I'm not going to go into that right now because of where we're at here. It's a public forum. But it's pretty clear. It's in the documents. It's in the documents, and I will discuss every aspect of that case once it's over with. But while it is pending, I am limited in what I can say. Let's see. Body cams. Every cop that reports for duty should have two things: body armor and body camera. I don't care if they got a gun with them or not. They're better off without it. We're safer without it. But body cam and body armor, absolutely. Let's see. Say no. Say no is probably Teresa anyway. Teresa's got like 30 troll accounts, and she goes from place to place, making her little comments and trying to start trouble, but it is what it is. Fraternal Order of Police is, in a lot of places, they are the unions. And if you want to see how the unions feel about you and your rights, look at who they put in charge. Look at who's number 2 guy recently voted in with the Fraternal Order of Police. It's Joe Gamaldi, Pee Wee Herman. And that's it. Oko Sobo 007. Okay, I'm here. Start over. I got a better idea. Wait till this is in video and you go back and replay it. We're not going to go over this again. Jody Abbott, we enjoy learning from you and sharing your knowledge. Okay. I try to do things when I can. I made a video the other day and I promised that I would come here this weekend and do a live stream with you guys and answer some questions. And that's what I'm here doing right now. So I try to keep my promises when I can. Luckily, the power hasn't gone out or anything stupid from this storm, so I'm able to do this. Y'all can see the storm clouds back over here in the background, right? We got a tropical storm coming in. I think it made landfall down around Corpus already, and we're just getting all the rain from it now and localized flooding and whatnot. Any scuttlebutt on the consulate situation there? No. The diplomatic police have moved in and taken over And that's all I can tell you. I was there the other day. Not much going on over there now. It's done. Dave R says that he's in what is it, Sumter County in Florida, and have never seen a cop with a body camera. Unfortunately, it's still too much of that going on, and police don't want the body cameras because the camera don't lie. Look at how many cops are getting caught because of body cameras. They hate body cameras. Crooked cops hate body cameras. The system is scary. It can take anyone down over anything, including their own confusion and mistakes. You're correct. You're correct. That's why you've got to have people in elected positions that hire people with a little common sense. For instance, a district attorney that says, hey, if we don't have an airtight 100% conviction guaranteed case against somebody, let's not ruin their lives or mess their lives up by tying them up in the court system. If we don't do that, then the court system will free up a lot of time and space for going after the guys that are actually committing crimes. We have over, if I recall the numbers correctly, here in the Houston area, Harris County, just Harris County, over 20,000 untested rape kits. That's 20,000 victims out there waiting for justice. We should be putting extra effort into processing those kits and locating the criminals responsible for creating those victims. I am 100% behind that. Prosecuting those people when we get them, because we'll have DNA evidence, right? Instead, we're spending money on putting people in jail for, I don't know, we've cut back on like marijuana charges, but homeless people on the street for panhandling. We're picking up women for prostitution. Stupid stuff. Arresting people for minor amounts of drugs. Not selling drugs, not getting caught with 30 pounds of cocaine. You're getting caught with user amounts of drugs. And why put somebody in jail and tie them up in the court system for that? I don't have an issue with going after drug dealers. Go get them. Go get them, and then if the guy on the street that uses drugs can't find it, well, that's his problem. But putting people in jail and ruining their lives over petty bullshit is a waste of resources, it's a waste of time, and it's a waste of people's lives. George, I disagree with you. Hiring people out of the military is a good thing, but you need to be selective. There are people coming out of the military that are not in the right frame of mind to be police officers. But there are some good people coming out of the military that are. So it needs to be taken on a case-by-case basis. There are police departments that I know of that won't hire veterans unless they've been out and working regular jobs and stuff for at least 5 years. And I've had conversations with recruiters about that. And I think that it's an okay policy. I don't necessarily 100% agree with it, but they're trying to weed out the people that have the problems. And the best way they say they can do that is to give it time between when they get out and when they would go to work with this particular PD. Rainy, Stefan, it's raining. Civil rights case. Will lawyers take civil rights case? Usually not. There are some that will do them on contingency, but it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. But lawyers don't, because of qualified immunity, because police have so many protections, it's hard to get a an award against them. They get a judgment against them. So lawyers don't like to take cases like that on contingency. It has to be really egregious. Please say how to reach you for a Houston PD investigation. Email me, newsnowhouston, all lowercase, all one word, newsnowhouston@gmail.com. Danny, first-degree murder, man was shot, yet the police got there, found a guy with a gun in his hand, and let him run to his car and leave without ever trying to stop him. It happens. Barely DUI. How about writing a summons? Hey, you know what? There's a good example. There is a perfect example. Nostradome. You just raised a good issue. So you catch somebody driving drunk. He's barely over the limit. Why not have him secure his vehicle, send him home in an Uber with a traffic ticket? That makes sense. Now, I mean, if he's falling down drunk, and I was on a cop watch. I do a lot of cop watching, and I don't ever put the videos up. Sometimes I do if there's something interesting, but I don't put all of them up just because you guys got better things to do with your time. But there was an incident the other night where I was on a cop watch where this guy was so drunk, when he opened the door to get out of his truck, he literally fell to the ground. Okay? Okay, I understood why they took that guy to jail. But, you know, if you barely, you know, blow dirty, write you a ticket and send you home in a taxi or an Uber. That just seems like common sense to me. I mean, we all make mistakes. So if you're just barely over, maybe even just let you call somebody to come and get you. It's called mercy. Show a little mercy. What would you want somebody to do for you? You know, a lot of cops. Here, I'll give you a good example. What would you want somebody to do? I did a cop watch. Guess it's been about 2 years ago now. This woman got pulled over up here on Highway 225 in Pasadena, and I stopped, did a cop watch. They were on the service road, and I could hear everything being said, and the officer stopped her for 8 miles an hour over the speed limit, and he wrote her a ticket. He wrote her a ticket for it. And after it was over with, I went and talked to her. And basically, she's a single mother, got several kids, and she was rushing from one job to the other. And she's running a little bit behind, so she went over speed limit. She sped a little bit. And she told this to the officer when he asked her. Single parent, just trying to struggle. She's struggling to get by, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to feed these kids, clothe these kids, house these kids, get them through school. So I paid that lady's ticket for her so that she wouldn't have to give up that little bit of money. And it's like a $300 ticket. But $300 to her, you know, $300 isn't a lot of money to me because I don't have a whole lot of bills. But to her, it may as well have been $10,000. And I remember there was a time when I was married and had kids, and we struggled. I mean, we lived paycheck to paycheck. Sorry. So I know what that's like. And later on in the evening, I ran into the officer that wrote that ticket. He was at a gas station getting something to drink, and I stopped and talked to him and just kind of asked him about where he came from, who he was. And he was telling me about how poor he was when he was growing up, how neighbors bought him coats to wear to school in the winter because his family was so poor. And I stood there and I told him, I said, you know what? You've forgotten where you came from. Because I reminded him of that lady and told him what her situation was. I said, she sat there and told you how poor she was. She sat there and told you, everything. And you still wrote her a ticket. He said, if that had been your mother, back when you were a kid, what would have happened? Anyway, long story short, police should be using more common sense. And the problem is they've forgotten where they came from in a lot of instances. And they just don't care about us. They talk about public service and how they're working to protect the communities and help the communities, and yet they would take a small fortune from somebody who is barely surviving. It's not acceptable. And it's got to change. It's got to change. What's sad is, Stephen. He says that it's sad because they think when the jails are empty, it's a bad thing. Well, it's because they're not getting federal money for all the people they've got, etc., so forth. So, more money means they hire more cops, which means they are a bigger agency, which means they get more resources, which means they got more power. See, it's a never-ending cycle, and we've got to turn that around. Yeah, people have been arrested for passing out pamphlets about jury nullification. Why would you arrest somebody for educating people about the law? It's because the judges don't want people to know the law. They want people to know what they say. And that's wrong. That's wrong. Exactly. What happened to leading by example? I make an effort to lead by example. And I'm not perfect, and everybody can say, well, you do this and you do that, whatever. Okay? But I make an effort. And police used to make an effort. They don't anymore. Now it's all about them and their money, and that's it. They just want the revenue for the city so that they can get more cops hired, or they can get raises, or they can get new cars, or whatever, And the funny thing is you want the raises, you want the new cars, you want more funding. Treat the citizens better, and the citizens would sacrifice other programs to do that for you. But when the citizens hate you and despise you and feel like you're working against them, they're going to do everything they can to work against you. People always say, they always ask me, how did you become a civil rights activist? And I tell them, I said, activists in any form are not born. Nobody's born to be an activist. You become one because you witness or are the victim of some wrong. And that's what happened to me. You see something wrong and you know it's wrong, and you become an activist to fight that wrong. That's where I came from. That's why I do what I do. Tomuchi, where are these empty jails? They turn the criminal loose stuff more and more here in Houston. They are turning a lot of, especially since this COVID stuff, people with minor crimes, they have been putting them out of jail. And everybody's like, well, that's a good thing. They're doing the right thing. Well, understand what they're doing it for. They're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they don't want people to get infected with COVID, and then they have to cover the medical bills. Okay, that's what it's about. George Starling. Long time ago, I was on the job. I was 22. My FTO explained to me that a police officer was a hired gun to handle society's undesirables. See, and that attitude is what's wrong. That's what's wrong. Wash police cars. Oh, here. That's a good one. So when I was a kid, Um, my mom worked in a convenience store, and infrequently we would catch, people stealing. And when the police would come out, they would dispense what we always called or knew as street justice. Today, street justice brings to mind things like cops beating people up and stuff. But back then, what it was a cop would give the guy a choice. Hey, go sweep the parking lot. Go stock the cooler. Work off what you've done rather than go to jail. And, that's street justice. Not ruining somebody's life over a stolen hot dog. Not taking somebody to jail because they stole toilet paper. That's what we need. We need more of that and less of take them to jail. Hawkwind. Hey Hawkwind, how you doing? What ticket for? The ladies' ticket was for speeding. It was $300, somewhere around $300. I'm looking here. Those guys go back to jail after COVID? Maybe not. I think here in the Houston area, we've had some problems with people that were arrested and then put out on that program, going out and committing more crimes. And I'm sorry, but if you do that, your dumbass needs to sit in jail. If you're going to be a criminal, then you get to take the criminal results. And the criminal results are, if you commit a crime, it's a good chance you're going to jail when you get caught. That's simple. I have no issue with that. But the punishment should fit the crime. MC, we're from Oregon. Your opinion matters to us. What do you think of the protests and how the press is getting... They are targeting the press everywhere. It's not just Oregon. These union thugs, these cops, are targeting the press because of the cameras. It's the cameras. They've got to shut down the cameras and the press because we're not supporting them anymore. We are showing what they're doing wrong. We're showing their criminal acts, and they've got to quell that. They've got to silence that. And this is organized by the unions. It's in these secret chat rooms that I'm talking about. They talk about how to do it and get away with it. And as long as they continue to do that, it is what it is. Dina Dick. Hey, sunshine. It's one reason I didn't retire from that job. Hawkwind. Hello, sunshine. I see you there. Historically, police institutions were created exactly for keeping serfs in check. Okay, so here in the United States, police departments, early on in the South, hold on. When I run dry on green tea, we're over. Here in the South, police were used to track down runaway slaves. And they were predominantly manned by Klan members. How many of you knew that? Google it. It's a fact. Google it. And you have organizations like, and if you Google this, okay, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Google it. The Fraternal Order of Police is the upper management of most police unions are what we'll call white power enthusiasts. You go to places like Louisiana, I'll let you figure it out. Google it. It's not a secret. They don't hide it. There has been within the law enforcement community a large influx of white supremacists. It's known. The FBI knows it. The FBI warned the law enforcement community about it. They did an article, a paper about it when it was happening, when there was this large influx started coming in. It's not a secret. So when you see these cops with all these tattoos, these racial tattoos and stuff, I'm not surprised. You know, why didn't you know? Because you're not monitoring law enforcement. None of us were. We trusted the cops to take care of themselves. Right? As the unions became more and more prevalent in the 90s and they got more and more powerful, the cops began to get more and more out of control, which brings us to where we are. Thank you so much for all you do. Prayers and thoughts for you and your family. Thank you, Flutterby. The cure for COVID is November the 4th. Okay. The cops would love to make it illegal to film the cops, because then they wouldn't have, everything being revealed that they do. Think of how many cops you've seen on video that ended up getting criminal charges. Okay? What would happen to those guys? They wouldn't get criminal charges. They'd still be out there framing people, beating people, shooting people, doing whatever they want to do. I just kicked my shoes off. I'm getting comfortable. They'd still be doing everything that they do because there was no video of them doing it. So, cameras are mandatory. Mandatory. Must have body cameras. Must. I'm looking over here now, see. I can't believe how much they glorify the jail prison system in Huntsville. Okay, once again, the prison system here in Texas is big business. It's big money. They originally built these prisons in places that had nothing else. There was nothing else there. And so people had jobs in places where they didn't before. And they've continued to do that. In the 90s, George Bush built prisons in places like, Lockhart, Texas, Amarillo, Dalhart. Places that there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. There's desert. There's nothing out there. Cotulla. Prisons in the middle of nowhere. And so these people in the rural areas now had jobs that had benefits and reasonable pay and opportunities for advancement, and so those people support that. Huntsville is the central management location for the prison system here, so it's big business there. And so that's why if you go to these little places like Palestine, I'm going to be doing an interview with a young lady that is she's an organizer for prison reform. I'll call it prison reform here in Texas. I'm going to do a Zoom meeting with her probably tomorrow or Tuesday. But they just did an awareness event in Tennessee Colony, Texas, which is just outside of Palestine. And they got so many threats before the event that it was just ridiculous. If I could have broken away, it was so bad. I was getting screenshots of some of these threats and stuff. It was so bad that if I could have broken away, I would have gone up there and provided armed guard service for them. These prison workers were threatening them to that level. Simply, all they were going to do was go out there and have an awareness event, make people aware of how COVID is tearing up the prisons. And because of that, they were getting crazy threats. The kind of threats I get. Oh, I'm going to chop your head off and throw you in the bay. Yeah, whatever. Come give it a try. All right, let me go back to questions. The war on drugs was about who was going to control the influx of drugs into the country. It was never about getting them off the streets. I agree. Hawkwind said something. I missed something there. Was a ticket in Texas? Yes, it was in Pasadena, Texas. I saw a prison system hand over to private. Yeah, that's another thing. Privatization of prisons is about money. Money for the private company that's running the prison, and money for the state. They get a budget, and if they can house prisoners and feed prisoners and give them medical care, they'll farm that out on a contract for X number of dollars. And then that private corporation comes in, and the difference between X number of dollars and the dollars they actually spend are bonuses for them. So how does that give them incentive to provide health care, good food, clean clothes, mattresses, the things that they should be providing for these prisoners? It's not. There is no incentive for it. It's all about the money. And if they mistreat their prisoners and all that stuff, well, who cares? Who cares? Who's looking? Who's paying attention? And that's the problem. Patrick's here. Dethon. So, talking about the KKK meeting place on Southmore in Pasadena. So, I grew up in Pasadena in the 70s. And there was a Ku Klux Klan office, their local headquarters was out on Red Bluff. And every Friday night, they would they'd burn crosses out there. And we didn't have black people in Pasadena. They worked in the refineries, but they came in, they worked, they got on the freeway, and they got out of town once they were off. You didn't hang around there. I worked at the local Foley's, and we had one black lady that worked in there. That was it. One black lady. And literally, she went straight to the freeway and left when it was over with. Pasadena cops, including my dad, were all members of the KKK. There were no black police officers in the Pasadena Police Department until 81, I believe it was. They used to burn a cross out there every Friday night, and somewhere there is a photo of me roasting marshmallows on one of those crosses. It exists. I'll have to dig it up, but it exists. I am not a member of the KKK, never have been, but my dad was, and it is what it is. But the KKK moved out of Pasadena and moved to East Texas when Pasadena hired its first black police officer. They told the cops there that if you hire a black police officer, we're moving out. And they did. Several violent criminals out that murdered Houston citizens. Kim Ogg has got to go. Kim Ogg is the Harris County District Attorney, and she is irresponsible. She is, I just can't think of anything good to say about her. I mean, she is targeting fathers for prosecution in cases that should not be prosecuted. She is allowing corrupt cops and corporations to harass and prosecute people. Her staff are prosecuting people that are targeted by crooked cops, and they know it. And so Kim Ogg's got to go. That's what I think of Kim Ogg. Only good thing I can say about Kim Ogg is the bail reform that she has done. I think it's been a good thing. I've been to Granbury. I didn't have any problems. Is Houston, you say Texas is very racist. I don't necessarily agree with that. Depends on the area that you're in. There are places like Houston and Austin and Dallas that are mixing pots for people. And while I'm sure that racism exists there, I think that the vast majority of people, are pretty accepting of others. Shouldn't treat prisoners. I agree, Helen. Absolutely, 100% agree. Your punishment isn't to be treated like crap. You're sent to prison to serve a sentence of time. Okay? It is the job of the people there to secure you and provide for you during that sentence, not to punish you. Your punishment is the time that you spend there. Human rights say, yeah, human rights can say anything they want. These people do what they want to do, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, in Texas, prisoners don't get paid to work. They don't pay you to work here in Texas. I think the federal system they do, and most states I think they do, but Texas does not pay you to work. Also, Texas prisons are not air conditioned. And so the temperatures in these dormitories where people sleep and live get ridiculous during the daytime. Dangerously so. We're losing a lot of prisoners in the last couple of years due to heat. Heat is killing prisoners. But it would cost, I think the estimates I saw were something like $1.6 billion to air condition the prisons. Texas doesn't have the money to do it. They are not going to do it. What they'll do instead is when you die from heat exhaustion, they'll say, oh, you had a heart attack. You know, they'll cover up what you died from so that your family doesn't sue them for whatever. And I don't even know that your family could sue if you died of heat exhaustion. Let's see what we got here. Nathan, the weather's good. Just getting a lot of rain. Shama Shala. What is that, Jamie? Oh, Shala Mihala. What in the heck does that even mean? I don't get it. It's just something somebody made up. You want to go out and say stuff like that on audit? I got something better. I'll even start using it on audits. We're going to start saying shamalama ding dong. How about that? CJ, every time you talk, it helps me to get strength to fight back and to survive this toxic atmosphere where I'm living. Thanks. Okay, Judy. I'm not CJ, but okay. Thank you, Mooney. Share those videos. Share those videos. And those of you that are not already... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Stefan, I've not met a non-white person who has been Granbury and did not go to jail downtown. If you're black, okay. Matt asked, does my son do First Amendment audits? And I was just actually coming to that. So there's another channel, and my videos are being uploaded over there. It's News Now Community. The channel belongs to my son, and it is monetized, and it does make money, but the money is used. I have a couple of special needs grandkids, and the money helps to take care of them. It's not exclusively so. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not exclusively so, but a good portion of the money does go towards helping take care of those grandkids, providing stuff for them. So if you're not subscribed to News Now Community, get over there and subscribe. There's a lot of my videos are over there. A lot of my new stuff is over there. Some of the live stuff is over there. You can find it. Let me hold on. See somebody. Thank you, Mindy. I don't blame it on BLM, and it's not going to be a civil war. But I believe that we are heading for the next revolution. I do believe that's coming. You know, it wouldn't take much right now to trigger, you know, a territorial war right here within our boundaries, within the United States. So I do believe it's coming. I do believe we are sitting on a powder keg, and it's not going to take much to trigger it. I do believe that. Let's see. clean out death row inmates 6 at a time, firing squad. Okay, here. Somebody, how is CJ doing these days? CJ, you're talking about CJ Grisham, I guess. He's doing good. He's doing good. He is going to college, and he's focused on that. I talk to him infrequently. Real good guy. Real good guy. Got nothing but good things to say about CJ, David Ahmed, and that crew. Death row. All right. There was a time when I believed that. Thank you, Psycho. Tease on you next time. Hey, how about a peach milkshake? Can I use that money to buy a peach milkshake tomorrow? There was a time when I believed in the death penalty. And I still believe in the death penalty, but now I'm more reserved about it. And I'll explain that. I've come to realize how many people the police framed for crimes they didn't commit. And a lot of those people end up on death row. And it is crazy to me that when we get new evidence in a case, especially DNA evidence, we don't do something. We don't take action. Do you know that if you're on death row and DNA evidence comes up, they won't test it. The government won't test it to clear you. So there are a lot of... Hey, Langley, would you post a link to News Now Community, please? So that everybody can find the channel. There are a lot of people on death row that shouldn't be there. I have no issue with people who belong there. Okay, but thank you, Jamie. Just repeating Patrick. Okay. Well, thank you, Jamie. You know, there are people that commit crimes, and we can prove they commit crimes. There's witnesses. There's everything you need to show, and they'll maybe even confess to it. I don't know. Has to be on a case-by-case basis, and it should be the highest standard ever to be met before we put somebody on death row. Because there are too many people that are being cleared, that are on death row, that are being cleared and shown to not have committed the crimes that they were accused of. We can't be killing people that are innocent. It's not civilized. Thank you, Run Did It. It's wrong. And Harris County we have so many people that are getting cleared of crimes through the Justice Innocence Project and stuff. So many people coming out of Harris County convicted of crimes they didn't commit. We got to stop it. And it's because the district attorneys hide evidence. I can attest to this firsthand. Police departments hiding evidence. If you're arrested for a crime, any evidence that they gathered in the course of their investigation is supposed to be provided to you. Okay? Instead, what you get here in Harris County is the district attorney will hand you a folder and say, here's what you get to defend yourself with. They decide. What do you get? You get what we say, the district attorney, the people trying to put you in prison. You get what we say you get to defend yourself with. And that's what they did to me. Well, luckily, I have a good lawyer. Thank you, Jojo. I have a good lawyer who is fighting and standing up and everything. But the average person who gets a court-appointed lawyer or some cheap lawyer, what are you going to get? For those of you that don't know, I am $35,000 into lawyer stuff on my case. How many of you, I'm very fortunate I have that money. How many of you have $35,000 to spend on a lawyer? Not very many. you'll be set on your way to prison. That's the problem. And the public defenders, they're just trying to get the system going. Get it going. Get it going. Court-appointed lawyers. Let's just get our $100 and get it going, you know. We've got to stop these people. We've got to stop it before it even starts. Crooked cops that file charges on people should be charged, prosecuted, and put in prison themselves. Period. District attorneys that prosecute and send innocent people to jail, hide and withhold evidence. Police departments that hide and withhold evidence should be held accountable. And that's what they've been doing with me. They have refused, flat out refused, to comply with subpoenas. They have refused to give us evidence. Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg, her staff, has refused to provide us with evidence we are entitled to as part of discovery. How do you do that? How do you do that? You don't. Empty. We got a few more minutes though. And then they say, well, you know, okay, so later down the road, you put it on appeal and, you know, the higher courts will overturn it and you get out of jail. But in the meantime, that's 5 years from now. In the meantime, you're sitting in prison for 5 years because Texas has done away with appeal bonds. Once you're convicted, you go to prison, start serving your time. If you get an appeal going and stuff, well then, you know, your case gets overturned, you get to come back and sit in the county jail while it's all reheard and reprosecuted or whatever. But you sit in jail. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Hold on. Police should be put on the Brady list, but they're not. Not here. Very few are ever put on the Brady list here. No matter what they do. Goins, they knew Goins was dirty, the guy that responsible for the Tuttle murders, the fake raid there in the Tuttle house that got the homeowners killed, murdered, and their dog. They've known he was dirty since 2008, and he's not on the Brady list. How is that possible? Are these people that inept? Are they that stupid? More likely, they're just that corrupt. Any updates from Almost Park? No, I do not have any updates from Almost Park. Will it be a war of territory? I don't know. Texas has the ability to create, manage, and survive off of its own economy. It's one of the few states that is set up, you know, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Even our power grid is isolated. So we could survive a revolutionary war on our own. We would just secede and declare ourselves an independent state, and that's it. Unit 61. Yeah, Australia is kind of a funny place. Although, I haven't been to Australia. It's one of the few places in the world that I haven't been. I do want to travel to Australia someday. So I hear that the male to female ratio there is like 11 to 1. You have like bar fights over men. I got to go just for the ego enhancement. Let's see what we got here. Evidence that you are entitled to by law. Yayolot Yet New Line News. Okay, I can't say that. Yeah, you're entitled to it by law. But if they don't give it to you, and then the judge says, okay, this is taking long enough, set for trial. You go to trial, you don't have all the evidence. After it's all over with, they give your lawyer the evidence. You got to put it on appeal to fight it. Meantime, you're sitting in prison. They got what they wanted. And when you get out, there's nothing you can do. You can't sue them. Because they have qualified immunity. The district attorneys have qualified immunity too. It has to go. It's not about keeping criminals out of jail. It's about doing the right thing and putting the right people in jail. You don't put people in jail because you don't like their politics. You don't put people in jail because they dare, you're a private corporation, and they dared to criticize your security staff. You put people in jail because they commit crimes. And police officers that go after innocent people should be jailed themselves for public corruption. Texas owns a third of the national grid. Yes, you are correct, Hawkwind. Oh, well, I don't see Donald Trump draining this swamp. I'd be happy if he did. The Australian girls. I had a school teacher when I was like 13 that was from Australia, and she was smoking hot. I didn't learn a lot in that class. It was hard to pay attention. I don't think a lot of guys in that class learned much. Because I am not kidding you, she was smoking. Blaine, why am I always outside when I do post office audits? Because I own the sidewalk. I don't own the post office. That's where my power is, the sidewalk. Okay, I'm looking. Spoon Man, the Fort Worth cop that shot that lady, she is, he got terminated. Looking here. Acting in good faith. Yeah, okay, so qualified immunity only applies if they're acting in good faith. The problem is showing that they weren't acting in good faith is a difficult threshold to accomplish, to get to. Yeah, Michael Morton, I'm aware of the Michael Morton case. And the reason, here's the thing about Michael Morton case, and this is one of the reasons that we have put so much stuff on subpoena. Everything that the district attorney gives you, you cannot publish it. You cannot publish it if the district attorney gives it to you. You can only publish the stuff you get on subpoena. This is why one of the reasons they are fighting our subpoenas so hard. They know I'm going to publish it. They have told the judge they don't want to give me this stuff because I'm going to publish it. Why not? Why not publish it? Why do they not want you people to see it? Why do they not want you people to see it? The answer is obvious. What's my take on the federal secret police? I have been saying that FPS, Federal Protective Services, is a bad thing for a long time. And you're seeing them up in Oregon now where they are literally pulling up and snatching people off the street in unmarked vehicles and uniforms without name tags and what. They just pull up, open the door, grab somebody. It's like Russia in the 80s. You know, the secret police just snatching people up. This is not how we do things in America. First off, why do we have secret police? You know, a lot of police, thank you, Spoon Man, a lot of police organizations are telling officers to remove their name tags, hide their badge numbers. Why? 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 So that there is no accountability when they go out, smack somebody in the head or whatever. Or they shoot somebody with a beanbag round in the head and kill them. Thank you, Unit 61. Name tags, badge numbers. Names and badge numbers, and there's case law on this, and I'll try and find it and post a link to it when I get a chance, but there's, matter of fact, I'll do a video on it. That's what I need to do. There is case law on this where the courts have ruled police must provide their names and badge numbers on request from citizens, or they're not cops. You have no way of knowing if they're a cop if they won't give their name and badge number. Plain and simple. El Paso FBI, Unit 61, I paid the Hemming law firm, that's Krista Hemming and Felipe Hemming, over $5,000 to do that lawsuit for me. As it turns out, Felipe Hemming is a government informant, and basically they screwed me out of that money. However, I think that has backfired on them because I made California bar complaints, and the bar is moving to disbar Krista as a result. That's what's going on with the El Paso FBI situation. They are saying name tags are removed because of doxing. I doubt it. I doubt it, but okay, so you remove your name tag. What about your badge number? Why hide a badge number? And I'll tell you, doxing in Texas is illegal when it comes to public servants. Ask James Freeman. Ask Bow. You publish a police officer's home address, it's a crime. So that's BS. That's total BS. How difficult is it to contact the president about these issues? He's too busy with China right now, which is, okay, somebody pointed something out to me earlier that I found funny, okay? You guys, and y'all are thinking I'm like a communist sympathizer or whatever. I'm not. I'm not. Donald Trump is raising heck about China and going after China and stuff, but somebody pointed out to me earlier that he has a MAGA hat. He said, and inside there's a label that says, Made in China. I just think that's hilarious. Let's see. Daniel Flores, you could try it. Chef Justice, hey, how you doing? I remember you. See, GoPro camera, cameras on your car, 1080 quality. I'm using Lucas dash cams exclusively. The one that's in my truck right now. If you were okay, so you'd have to be over on News Now Community because I was live over there a couple of days ago and I actually showed the camera. I've had that dash camera. It's a Lucas dash cam about 5 years, and it has survived the Texas heat. I don't have any other dash cams that have ever lasted as long as the Lucas, Lukas dash cams. I should get like a promotional thing from them or something. But highly recommend Lucas dash cams. And everybody should have a dash cam in their car, absolutely. Stefan, that's how they see us. They see us as combatants. They see us as the enemy. Seattle is crazy. Seattle's crazy. I'll be going to Portland sometime between now and the end of the year. I will be in Portland. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up now. If you're not subscribed to News Now Community, Lan Lee is going to post a link here in just a second. Hint, hint. And get over there and subscribe, because that's where most of my new stuff is being posted, and some other stuff is being posted as well. Get over there and subscribe. News Now Community. I will be doing, hold on. You know, if I have time, when I go to Portland, I don't know how much time I'm going to have. But if I have time, I plan to hit Seattle. And I'm actually hoping to have enough time. I'm going to try and take about a week or 10 days. I want to get over to Puget Sound and spend a few days. I have a friend that has a boat over there. It's been offered to me. And hope to have a couple of days to cruise Puget Sound. I've been up there once back in 2010, I guess it was. And it was freaking awesome. I loved it up there. Loved it. And would love to go back again. I had a girlfriend with me that time. This time I'll be traveling alone. No, I'm kidding. I think I may have somebody with me. If I'm lucky. We'll see. James Barnes. Let's see. I see James Barnes. How you doing? Pay them and their families' bills, and they see us as the enemy. Yep, that is absolutely true. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Ake. Let me. I will. I will. Portland is crazy. Hey guys, Bunny Boots is up there in that area. Bunny Boots Inc. INK, not INC. Bunny Boots Inc. So you might check out some of his stuff. He's got some really good stuff on the streets up there. Hello, North Alabama. Thank you, Kripke. It's not a hurricane, it was a tropical storm, and it hit south of me. All I'm getting is a bunch of rain. I'm on the wet side. Okay, Emerson, I'll remember that. All right, that's it, guys. I'm wrapping up. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go get me some lemon cake since I can't get my Chick-fil-A peach milkshake tonight. Go chase down something else. So, appreciate you jumping in here. Appreciate everybody that donated. Thank you guys for taking time to listen to me rant and rave. And we'll do it again soon. I'm going to get some stuff together and post. And very soon, because the first month's coming, start watching for the publication. And I'll think of a name for each video that I do, but I'm going to publish documents, and I'm going to go through those documents with you, and then I'll give you the link to BitChute so that you can go to see the documents yourself. So start watching for those videos, and I'll do them as a series. I'll documents, I don't know what. I'll figure it out, and I'll let you know in the future. Y'all be safe, and I will see you again soon. Thank you for watching, and be safe. And always video the police. Always. And do not vote for Kim Ogg or donate any money to her. Good night, y'all.